I guess I shouldn't waste too much of your time. I'll just ask you my question.
Yeah, no, totally.
So, okay, so I run 2 businesses from my home, and I've been confused about this a lot, and I've already, like, I get most of my SEO information partly from your sites, which are really informative, but mostly what I do is I watch the Google Webmasters with John Mueller, and that's where I get like most of my information from, just because he covers so much. And I've already tried asking this question twice, and it's been ignored. And the times that he gets on is like 1 or 2 in the morning. So anyway, I run these 2 businesses, and on Google My Business, I have my home address listed, and of course, I have written that I provide services to other businesses, like outside my address, so they hide my address. But I'm really concerned about my websites not having an NAP. I can put up phone numbers on my website because I do Google Phone and I have business phones, but I'm concerned that I'm ranking pretty well for some of my keywords, but I'm concerned that it's affecting my rankings for other keywords in general because there's no NAP on my site, and I don't want to put my home address. And so I looked into Regis, but then I learned that you only get one. Like, I thought I would get a separate suite number, but you don't. So now I'm like, well, what can I do? I know I can't do a UPS box.
Right. So you just want to rank it as a service area, right?
Well, I rank nationally, actually. So both businesses are national. But I feel like because I don't have an address on my website, according to John Mueller, who has mentioned it several times, is that, that gives you more authority. And so I feel like I need an address on there, but I don't know, I can't put my home address on there.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do.
So what you can do is you can sort of make your NAP like the surrounding location, right? Or like the location that it's like next to. And kind of hint at like it being in that area, but obviously you're not going to be able to put an actual like street address. But you can put like we're located next to another street address and put another street. So like for instance, when I was doing a service area downtown, and I've been able to rank when I first started all service areas because I was living at my house with my mom when I was starting out, and so I had to rank as a service area, and so what I did is I said, okay, we're located next to State Street downtown, and I would link to State Street and put the address that we were next to, or not the actual address, but like, State Street and then, Santa Barbara, California, that kind of thing, right, with the zip code. But I wouldn't actually show. I mean, it's not, that's the thing, is it's not going to be like a thing that's going to make or break the site, I don't think, in terms of the SEO. The other thing is that you're ranking nationally, so I think if you're saying the Google My Business is ranking nationally or the website is, which one, organically?
My websites are ranking organically for like some of my keywords on page 1, not all of them, and I'm wondering if it would help with authority if I could like put like some sort of address on the site, so I could just do
sorry.
So could I put just like San Diego and the zip code, or because the problem is I run both businesses from my house.
Right, but are the keywords that you're ranking nationally for? Is it like keyword plus California or keyword plus national location, or is it just keyword?
Oh, it's just keyword national, and I'm actually dominating on a local level for my massage business consulting. And then the keyword, but I'm also nationally for, like, my other one is a pain science conference, and so I'm dominating for a pain science conference. on a national level, I just feel like there's no address in my NAP. So I don't know. Should I just put like San Diego, California, and then the zip of where I hold the conference? Or
well, you can do that, but if you're trying to rank for a national keyword that doesn't have a location modifier in it, then it's probably not going to make a huge difference.
You don't think so?
Well, I mean, usually the NAP is for, like, the consistency signals are for local rankings, not national. So, I mean, of course, you're going to have more credibility by having, like, a address location on your site, especially if it's a local site. But if it's a national site and you're ranking for a national keyword, there's probably, in terms of the whatever page quality rating system Google has for that specific type of search, is going to be a little bit more downplayed than I think if it was something where you're trying to rank for like keyword plus city or keyword plus, San Diego or California or whatever,
Okay, but would you recommend that maybe I put like the city and the state and just put a city, state, and area code and phone number? Just to give it authority?
You can do that. Yeah. I mean, it really depends. So like if you're trying to, like, if that's trying to help you rank higher for like a national keyword and you're targeting a certain area where people are looking for that keyword in that area, for instance, like, let's say, something conference in target area, you could say like the location, but in terms of listing your home address, it's the only time that's really going to help you for like national based keywords is if you like have that on your like about page or contact page where Google expects you to have that.
Okay. Because
it could be somewhat helpful in the footer.
Okay, because I'm noticing I am ranking for what I'm doing for my keywords, but I'm just concerned about the site authority because I don't really have anything in the footer. All I have is a contact me page.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really need to have anything in the. On my sites, I don't put anything in the footer really.
Oh, you don't?
No, I mean, there's two types of content. There's supplementary content and main content. And supplementary content is the stuff that Google looks at on every page pretty much. So like the sidebars, the footers, pretty much content that's going to repeat itself. And Google doesn't really put much weight on that. Now, if you look at the main content, and this is exactly how they explain it from their page quality guidelines or whatever it is, that like this thing I just linked to in the group.
I saw your reports on that.
Yeah, so the main content, which is what they really look at, is not like footer or really supplementary stuff. I mean, that could help like assign like an entire value over the authority of the site a little bit, but the stuff they really look at is the main content. And if you really want to rank for something, say for like target area conference or something, I think the best thing you could do is just try to add really hyper-specific data around that area. So I talked about this in one of my videos recently where I was able to rank number 1 for search engine optimization in Maryland. I always say the word wrong. And all I did was I just included hyper-specific data from co-occurring terms from Wikipedia. So I just found like certain facts.
Yeah, I've been reading about your tricks on that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think that would probably be a really good idea. I mean, the other thing is that you could do topical seeding, which means you can actually not only just target that main keyword on one page, but use co-occurring terms on other related pages, and then internally link those.
I'm sorry. Use what terms you said?
Yeah, it's called co-occurring. So a lot of people use LSI as an example, but it's actually called co-occurring.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you do is you take co-occurring terms and you add them with, of course, throughout your copy, but then on other pages as well, you can create basically clusters. So you can take, say, for instance, your main keyword is SEO conference in San Diego. Well, what you can do is then you can take co-occurring terms of San Diego and conference and SEO, that kind of stuff, and you can create other pages around that and then internally link those pages and build authority to multiple pages. And by building these clusters, you're going to make all of the pages stronger opposed to just one.
Okay. Yeah, so because what's interesting is that when I do a local search for my event, I'm like, I have 4 spots on the first page, 4 or 5 spots, and the same with my consulting business. I was just really concerned about the fact that I don't have the NAP in the footer, and so I was really just concerned about authority, but it sounds like maybe that's not so much an issue.
Well, I mean, from a local perspective, it somewhat is, but even then, I mean,
because I'm not trying to target. I mean, it'd be nice to have local business, but really my target is national, so it doesn't.
Yeah, so I mean, you gotta have to look at it from a user intent perspective. The people who are going to your site, are they for a national-based keyword? Are they interested, or do they really care about your address as much as they care about, the information? Now, if you look at it from a different intent perspective, where you look at like a local search where people need to find your location, that's a completely different sort of signal, right? So there are more important things for you to focus on in terms of your national strategy, in my opinion, than, whether or not your address is showing for your NAP. Like I said, yeah.
So should I have, like, for example, I have my local, my home address is listed on my Google My Business, and from my understanding is that if you have an address that matches what's on your, Google My Business on your site, that helps with authority. Should I have like the partial, like just the city and the state and the zip code, do you think, or in your experience, does that even matter if I'm targeting on a national level?
Like I said, I don't think it's really a big deal opposed to other things that you would probably want to worry about in this situation. But if it is a local site that you're trying to rank locally, I would say probably a pretty good idea to put.
No, I'm already like dominant. I'm already dominating locally. I don't even have an address on my website. But yeah, it's the national that I'm okay.
I mean, the best thing I can tell you when it comes to the national is really try to figure out what the user intent is behind what people are searching for that keyword, and kind of look through other people's articles and see like how can you actually make that better, preferably with more or better content, and then take that, because you usually don't rank right away after you like completely obliterate whatever content somebody else has with your amazing content. Then what you can do is, like I said, you can start doing like those clusters of content around a certain subject, and then internally link them and also share the hell out of them on social and whatnot. And then you can keep beefing up those pages by relaunching them. And
you have videos about the cluster, like clustering around content?
I don't have anything around that specifically, but I have it around internal link silos.
You're supposed to be doing everything, Chase. You have to do everything right now.
Well, the problem is that I haven't been able to make as many free videos because I've been doing all the paid courses, so I can continue doing like what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get to a point where I can make enough from like people donating and stuff like that, where I can do all my stuff for free, because that's like the most fun for me.
Yeah, I understand. I totally get it, and thank you so much. So this really helps me. I'm not going to worry so much about the NAP, because it's something that I've just been worried about so much, and it's kind of like dominated my thinking, and it's affected like how, like it's affected. I almost lost a bunch of money trying to get a alternative address, like a virtual office. And then, of course, I learned that virtual office. And then it wasn't until I signed up that I learned that, first of all, I don't have my own suite number. And then secondly, when you Google that address, it's a virtual office. So that's bad. And I just if I don't have staff there. So, you know,
well,
it's been, I just feel like I focused too much of my time worrying about this when it sounds like it's probably not as big a deal anyway. Because, like I said, I'm ranking well right now for my keywords, but I'm like, oh, how long is that going to last? You know?
Yeah. Well, and to your point, you know, you have a certain amount of knowledge to know that actually that could be a small ranking factor or signal in that for like the queries you're going for. But if you look at other stuff, like for instance, I would be more worried about how well people can get to your contact page or about page and your other like really important pages where people need to know certain information about you more than I would be focusing on you know, your NAP first of all. And then if I were to take that and say, you know, how important is that? I'd probably say that's not as important as the other stuff I was talking about. So there's definitely things that you can do, but I think that is something that even people like myself, you know, you get so concerned about these certain subjects that it's hard not to think about them. But the biggest thing is really kind of figuring out maybe like a larger game plan than something that's just that specific, because a lot of the things that take make or break like an SEO plan to rank for something is usually like a lot bigger things than just like one small change.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Chase, because, you know, I also do SEO services on the side for clients because I love SEO, and, of course, on a local level, I'm really adamant about how they do their NAP and this and that, and so it's good to know that, in my case, it may not matter so much.
Yeah, and don't feel bad. I mean, the other thing is, like, it does matter a lot more for local, but like I'm not really that great at, you know, e-commerce SEO because I don't really spend a lot of time doing it. So, I mean, don't beat yourself up over the fact that you thought maybe that the NAP really did matter for the national, because it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I've thought even crazier things than that.
I'm sure. Oh, well, thank you so much, Chase. And I'm going to tell you, if you ever are coming down to San Diego at all, please let me know. Because, you know, I'm following you, and you know my name, Rajem Ruth, and you can just, like, text me and say, hey, let's meet up for lunch. I would love to take you out for lunch or whatever. I know you like to drink lots of water. I can take you out to drink some water. But I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Right on. Thanks, Rajem. And this will be on YouTube, just to let you know, if that's okay.
That's okay. I think my voice is okay to listen to, too. Like.
No, yeah, it's totally fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Chase. I appreciate your time.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Have a happy New Year.
All right. Bye.
Bye.